If you're watching this show and you consider yourself a gamer, then well, this show isn't for you. So go get the people around you that you wouldn't call gamers or people that understand games and bring them here. Come on, I'll wait. Ah, there you are. Good. Now you can go. You, the gamers, can go. Me and the other people will have a little chat. It doesn't concern you at all. You're free to go about your business, do something else. Really, you can go. Are they gone yet? Good. Now that it's just you and me, let's talk about something serious. Gamers can be some of the most nerve-wracking people imaginable. Sometimes they can even be a hazard to your mental sanity. So now I'm going to tell you how you can turn their guns against them. This is the top 7 ways to annoy a gamer. If there's one in your life or more than one, use these methods to make sure that they will be as exasperated with you as you are with them. Now you may think to yourself, why would I want to escalate a conflict that way and just make everyone bitter? Why ask why when how is so much more fun? So use these methods and just enjoy yourself. It will be fun, for the most part. That being said, let's kick it off with a classic. Number 7. Tell them to pause in multiplayer. Now, this does require a bit of stalking on your part to make sure that they are in a multiplayer game. If you don't know how one looks like, it's quite easy to find out. If the person playing the game has some inexplicable sudden outbursts of rage, then it's a good sign that you're talking about a multiplayer game, especially if he's playing a first-person shooter, as in you can see the gun being held by a character. At that moment, call them. Give them a task to do. And when they say they can't because they're in a game, just tell them to pause it. Yes, I know it's a bit cliche, but trust me, it still works like a charm to this day. It's one of the best starting level annoyances you can cause to a gamer. Number 6. Call their hardcore game casual. Now, the person that's playing the game may have certain tastes. They like certain types of games and consider some of them to be what they would call hardcore, meaning they require a high degree of skill and commitment to actually enjoy them. You now have to do a bit more work. You have to find out what game specifically they believe to be hardcore. Usually, if they've been playing for at least about 2-3 years, they will say that it's something like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, or Dota. The next step, and this is very important, tell them that that game is a casual game. For example, Dark Souls is a casual game, and then run. Like, run. Get out of the room, get out of the house, because odds are if that person is the kind of gamer we see on the internet all the time, you'll be in for either a gigantic speech filled with effervescent epithets or flying objects hurled at your head. But still, it's worth it just to see them squirm. To add insult to injury, tell them that something casual, like something you would play on a mobile phone, is hardcore, like Farmville or Flappy Bird, though Flappy Bird would be a bit hardcore. Or Pokemon Go. Number 5. Replacing League of Legends with Dota. What exactly these names mean, it's not very important. What's important is that if you see the player engage in an activity that looks like he's directing a very small, tiny character on a screen, but just one, a screen that has some bars at the bottom and what also appears to be some sort of map, and if the screen periodically fills with so many explosive details and spell-like things that just fill up everything, that's probably what we would call a MOBA game like League of Legends or Dota 2. Now, you can either try and find out which one he's playing, preferably without asking him directly, just check the desktop to see which game is more prominently placed, and then at every opportunity possible, during a conversation, confuse the two games. If you're dealing with a Dota player, continually confuse Defense of the Ancients, because that's the long-form name, with League of Legends. Or the other way around, confuse League of Legends with Defense of the Ancients. Why, you may ask, would this matter? Because the fan bases of these two games tend to be, well, if you're a football fan or of any kind of sport, you know what supporters of different teams tend to be like when it comes to championships or whenever their teams play against each other. Yeah, imagine that amplified 1,000 times constantly. You'll be in for a show, guaranteed, because they won't stop with how their game is actually different, with how League is for casuals, with how Dota is too complicated and antiquated, with how one's better and totally not like the other. It will be amazing. Similar to that idea, number 4, the Call of Duty Battlefield CSGO combo. Step 1. Remember that first-person shooter the gamer was playing earlier? The one I mentioned with the weapon on the screen? Find out which game it is. If the player spends a lot of time in it, it must be their favorite. And it's usually one of these: Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Usually shortened to COD, BF, and CSGO. Find out which one they they prefer. Then, at every opportunity, tell them that one of the other ones, doesn't matter which, is better. Then again, prepare to have flying objects hurled at your head, or for them to start going on month-long presentations about how no, the game they're playing is actually the superior one. Also, similar to that idea, number 3, console versus PC. Now this one's gonna be even easier. Just find out what the gamer is using to play. If it's a big box, usually vertical, with a lot of wires coming out, sometimes flashing in different colors, with a keyboard and a mouse, that's a PC. If it's a small box under the TV with something that looks like a really oddly shaped remote with 2 things sticking out of it that you can move, that's a console. Whichever one they prefer, tell them the other one is clearly superior in each and every way. Don't offer details. If they ask you to explain, give something vague like the other one gives a better user experience, gives you a greater sense of fulfillment, and is flat out better. After that, well again, they will probably throw things at you because that's how some gamers behave, or they will swear, well at least that's what they would do on the internet, and then they will explain for the next year why no, their platform is actually better. Number 2, games are for kids. Now, this one works on 2 categories of people. Adults, and usually 12 to 14-year-olds who have some sort of ego about them being a man. Just tell them that games are for kids. Why are you playing that? Games are for kids. This will drive them up the walls. Coincidentally, if they have anime, like Japanese animation posters on the walls, easily recognizable because the characters have gigantic eyes, also tell them that anime is for kids. They will be foaming at the mouth at that point. They will be enraged. They will be so annoyed that they will probably walk off in a huff and lock themselves in their room. Also probably not talk to you for a couple of weeks, so you'll probably have some time to yourself to live in peace. And number 1, give them links to our content. No matter what kind of gamer the player that lives in your proximity may be, there is a very good chance our content will annoy the shit out of them. We've already done wonders with the Diablo 3 community and will probably continue to do so with others. Maybe Call of Duty, maybe Battlefield, maybe Counter-Strike, perhaps World of Warcraft down the line. In general, things that when you break them down to the basics are kind of stupid. Now, in this case, because you just give them the links, they will not hold any sort of grudge against you, but they will be annoyed. And you can enjoy their reactions, their annoyance, for years to come because we plan on doing content for a long time. Now, of course, there may be the odd chance that the gamer in your proximity is actually a level-headed individual, in which case, there is no chance you can actually annoy them, and probably you have no reason to. Those people sort of make up the bulk of our audience anyway, so they probably know of our shows, but send them links anyway. Well, that's it for the top 7 ways you can annoy a gamer. As a disclaimer, we hold no responsibility for any incident or any physical altercations that may result from applying the advice seen in this show.
If you enjoyed this show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Or, if you thought it was horrible, then share it with your enemies and make them suffer. We shall be your weapon of vengeance. But if you liked what you saw, you could, I don't know, maybe donate, because basically YouTube is horrible at revenue, by using the link in the description, or just buy my book. It's a fantasy book about, well, a lot of stuff. I guarantee it won't suck, and if it does suck, you can find me here and complain about it.